God bless you. I am Owen Ross. I am the director for the Center for Church Development of the North Texas Conference, and I am thrilled that you are watching this video. You know, the Methodist Church started out as a movement of gathering new faces in new spaces in England and then in the Americas. And just the fact that you are watching this video shows to me that you have interest in sharing the good news of Jesus Christ with other people. You know, statistics are saying that loneliness is on the rise and that church participation is on the decline. Now, I don't think those two facts are independent of one another. People are becoming separated. Our nation is becoming more divided. I believe this is a unique season in which God is calling the people called Methodist to step out in our Methodist ways to reach new people, to gather new people, to let people know that they are loved by Christ and that there's a group of people who want to love them, to help them grow, to connect with them and do life with them. You're going to be hearing in this video about a program out of the General Board of Discipleship. Rachel Gilmore is going to be sharing about these cohorts that are going to be formed by people like you, mainly laity, people who God has put on their heart that want to make a difference in this world. We want to live our faith. We don't just want to be fed, but we want to feed. We want to be a part of the new thing that God is doing to reach people in their loneliness, in their bitterness, in their hunger for something more in life. In the North Texas Conference, we call this New Faces and New Spaces. The emphasis is on the new faces. That's why it comes first. Reaching people where they are, sharing life with them, sharing the one who is life with them. In the North Texas Conference, our New Spaces initiative, our New Faces and New Spaces, we are defined by 4 characteristics. 1, they gather new faces. This isn't just a new program for those of us who call ourselves United Methodists, those of us who are already congregating. This is a means of reaching new people. So if it doesn't gather new faces, it's not what we call a new space. Second is it's connected with an existing space, meaning it's connected with an existing church, with a campus ministry, or one of our great social services that we have and community centers that we have in the United Methodist Church and in the North Texas Conference area. Because it's important to have that grounding. It's important to have that connection. Not that the new space is necessarily a funnel to bring in people into our congregation as much as it's a funnel out of our congregation to funnel people into mission and a ministry in the world. The third characteristic is that it forms disciples. Now, discipleship is done in many different ways. Sometimes it is a Bible study. Sometimes it's developing a rule of life. Sometimes it's a place just for people to share and connect with what they may be calling right now a higher power. But building in that consistent discipleship, that consistent life-transforming habits or disciplines, as we may call them, that is an integral part. This is not just a new social service. This is not just a new way of doing fellowship. Discipleship is at the center of gathering new faces in new spaces. So 1, it gathers new faces. 2, it's connected with the United Methodist Church. 3, it has discipleship. And 4th is meet regularly. This meeting regularly, it's hard to do discipleship on a one-off event. And I would say even much less frequent than once a month. It's hard to get those habits and patterns developed that you can really have a life-transforming discipleship or relationships built. And so with a minimum at meeting once a month, uh, is what is needed an for a new program, entity or program to be considered what we call our new spaces. So I am just thrilled that you are here and interested in this work. And the Center for Church Development wants to invest in you and wants to help you develop your skills, develop your ability to gather people and equip you in discipling people who are really hungry, needy, lonely, and needing a new place to connect. So you're going to hear from Rachel, and she's going to share with you about this program that the Center for Church Development wants to connect you with. And at the end of it, I'll come back and share with you a little more about how the Center for Church Development wants to support you and ways to get connected. Again, I'm glad you're here, and now I turn it over to Rachel.
All right. Hi, North Texas. This is Rachel Gilmore from Path One at Discipleship Ministries. I'm excited to share this new partnership that we have with Michael Moyna from Fresh Expressions in the Church of England in the UK, and Michael Beck, who does a lot of Fresh Expressions. He's a Methodist pastor out in Florida. Okay, so I started talking with Mike and Michael a few months ago, and they had just launched what they're calling the Godsend Incubator. And I said, well, let's bring it to all Methodists everywhere. And we're inviting you in North Texas to be a part of this as well. So what we are calling Fresh Expressions through a Wesleyan lens, new people in new places, which is similar to some terminology that you guys are using there. And in particular, one of the trainings or experiences that's part of this New People, New Places movement is called the Godsend Incubator. So let's dive right in. Why? Why are we offering this Godsend Incubator? Well, what I realized in talking with Michael Moyna from the UK was that we have some similarities, right? We, both in the UK and in the US, we might start a fresh expression, a dinner church or a messy church, but we don't always know how to go deeper in discipleship. People could be coming to that fresh expression at the dog park or the knitting circle for years and not necessarily grow deeper in their faith. So we wanted to find a way to train and equip lay people to make disciples. And then the other issue that we're finding both here and across the pond is that someone might start a dinner church and it does really well for years and years, but they don't know how to start a network of dinner churches, how to multiply their impact. So this training in particular, the Godsend Incubator, emphasizes discipleship and multiplication. So if you're struggling with that in your church, or you'd like to learn more about how to train your lay people to make disciples in a way that can be multiplied, then this experience is for you. All right, so who is it for? Teams of laity from local churches. So ideally we want at least 2 people, right? Pastors can participate, so you can have a pastor and a lay person attend. They have to be a part of the team, and Fresh Expressions should not be clergy led. So pastors, we know that this might be like really exciting to you. You want to get out there and start like a pub theology church, but this year and ministry in general can be overwhelming and you have a lot on your plate. And this is an opportunity for us to go back to the history of early Methodism, where circuit riders would just go and check in on the circuits, right? But it was up to the lay people to do that work, to hold that faith community together. So this is another example of that. We're kind of going back to our roots, which was the time when the United Methodist Church was, or the Methodist Church was growing more than any other era in our history. So let's embrace that. Let's empower and equip our laity to realize that we are called to go and make disciples of all nations, right? That's a command not just for pastors, but for all of us. So find teams of at least 2 up to 10 laity from your church, maybe pastor included, and the cost for this whole experience, and you'll realize what it entails, guys, there's so much here, is $300 per team from that church. Okay. And if your annual conference is an official partner, there are a few annual conferences out there that are, then you just register through that annual conference and that fee will probably be less. All right. Okay, what does the incubator entail? I'm talking about this God send incubator, but like, what is that? Okay, so during the invitation day, we'll look at these following questions. So part of this incubator is the training that answers the questions: what are fresh expressions of church? What is church? What is an incubator? What are next steps? After that invitation day, we'll have a launch day where we'll review the discipleship journey and values. So you can access a webinar that we did in November and December with both of these Mikes, Mike and Michael Beck, Michael Moyna, who just released a book called The 21st Century Christian. And it kind of lays out the theological framework behind this God Send Incubator. So we did some webinars with them, and they'll review that. So you don't have to watch the webinar, because part of the launch day is reviewing that journey and those values that are included in that book. Then we'll also address the nuts and bolts. Okay, so what is this God Send app? What are next steps with my local team and my studio group and coach? And you'll also get a Zoom link to go in a room with your coach to start sharing and bonding as a team. Okay, what are you launching into in this incubator? Okay, so you sign up, 2, 3, up to 10 lay people from your church. And when you register, you'll be notified, hey, guess what? You're part of a group, and we're putting groups together either based on your geography, where you live, or on the type of fresh expression that you're doing. And each of these groups will have a coach. A lot of our coaches are D-Min students at United who are getting a doctorate of ministry in fresh expressions. Okay, so they get it. They're passionate about this. They're exciting leaders. In many of them United Methodists, right? So you'll have a coach that's going to work with you and other teams, and they'll walk you through 17 different modules on this app. So, for that $300, you get all these online national webinar trainings. You're going to get your coach who's going to use a Facebook group to kind of keep you guys on track, let you know when the Zoom meetings are, to help you move through 17 different modules that all fit into this diagram here. So we'll all start with listening. What does it mean to listen to our community? What does it mean to love? And then to form community, and then to share Jesus, and then to birth a church, an expression of church, and then repeat. So these modules will walk you through all 17 through this entire rhythm and cycle here. And as you're learning from the module with your coach and with all these other teams, you'll be applying it to your context. You'll be saying, okay, we don't have a fresh expression yet, or we do have one. And now because we have one, this is what we're learning and experiencing as we go. So great and exciting potential here. When does all of this start? Okay, the free invitation day is January 28th, 1 p.m. Central Time, and then you launch. If you register, then we'll give you a link for the launch webinar February 27th at 1 p.m. That's a Saturday, so it's easier to fit into your schedules. And all of these will be recorded for you to watch later if you can't be there live, but it's obviously best we want to see you live and in person. And then our 2 national gatherings are going to happen April 24th and October 23rd, online via Zoom. And at those national gatherings, we're basically going to come together. I love this. And Michael and Mike have set all this up. And the theme, like the driving force behind these national gatherings, isn't a ton of workshops and breakout rooms, but a chance to answer 3 questions. What is, what could be, and what will be. So again, chances to make plans and to strategize and to feel encouraged and get the help that you need to take the principles that you've learned about and apply them right where you're at. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at rgilmore@umcdiscipleship.org. Or if you have questions pertaining to these groups and the coaches and how all that will work, my colleague, Brian Teener, is in charge of that. And so you can email Brian at btener@umcdiscipleship.org. All right, thanks so much for hearing me out today. I'm really, really super excited about this incredible partnership and the potential that it holds for you and your church and for our denomination. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for sharing with the North Texas Conference. Thank you for this partnership that we have been able to enter into. Now, in case there's any confusion, when Rachel's talking about new people and new places, fresh expressions, even the Wesley class meetings, we are talking about the same thing as gathering new faces and new spaces, as we call it here in the North Texas Conference. It's all about gathering people together to do life together, to do discipleship together, and that can be done in so many ways. indeed, a limitless number of ways. And we believe God is planting in you a seed of creativity to look around your mission field. Where is God calling you to connect with new faces? Now, Rachel mentioned that there's a cost of $300, but our conference has become a partnering entity with new people and new places. And so we have a discount for you to participate, only $100. And so we get that $200 discount. And even if that $100 is cost prohibitive for you, let us know. We have a limited number of scholarships available. But my prayer is that you are ready and willing to invest money and time to share the joy that you have discovered in Jesus Christ and in being a part of a faith community. You know, I know that in this time of loneliness, in this time of division, we have found support in our church family. When I think about how my church family has supported my family in this time, I give thanks to God. I look at my parents and how their Sunday school class has surrounded them in their difficult times. And I know there are those that you look to and can look back upon difficult seasons in your life as well as joyous seasons in your life. And you've had that church family to share with. And you also know through that church that you have the omnipotent, the Almighty, who is always with you, never leaves you alone, never leaves you abandoned, but is there with you through thick and thin, through the great times, through the difficult times. And our world needs that hope today. And so I want you to connect with new people in new places, or as we call it here in the North Texas Conference, our new faces in new spaces. So reach out to the Center for Church Development. Send an email to our ministry coordinator. Her name is Jessica Vargas, and her email is vargas@ntcumc.org. That's VARGAS@ntcumc.org. Or feel free to reach out to me, Owen Ross, at ross@ntcumc.org. Sisters and brothers, we are entering into a new season of Methodism. And like the season in which we began, God is calling us to step out of the walls of the church, to reach new people, to gather new faces in new spaces, new people in new places, and share the love of Christ with them. Celebrate the work that God is doing in their lives, in our own lives, and participate in that transforming power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Again, thank you for your time connecting with this video. Thank you for your interest in other people outside of our immediate congregation. Know the Center for Church Development is here to support you, to equip you. We will have grants available when you get ready to launch to help assist you in getting your new space going. More information will be coming out through the process of new people and new places. You're going to be connected with other churches in the North Texas Conference, as well as in the connection and with some experts from around the world. God is doing a new thing, and the Center for Church Development is thankful for the opportunity to partner with you. We're praying for you. God bless you.